Let's be real for a second. Studying can feel like an absolute drag. You put in the hours, you stare at the book, but the results, they just don't show up. But what if I told you the problem isn't you? What if it's just the way you're studying? Today, we're going to dive into a bunch of techniques that are so effective, it's going to feel like you found a cheat code for your brain. You know the feeling, right? You sit down, you're all set to be productive, and then, boom! Suddenly, literally anything else is more interesting. Checking your phone, reorganizing your desk, maybe even planning a whole new life as a goat farmer in the mountains. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in exactly the right place. And this right here, this is the trap that so many of us fall into. We spend hours and hours just passively rereading our notes, highlighting like entire paragraphs, hoping it'll all just magically absorb into our brains. But it just leads to this frustrating loop of cramming, forgetting, and getting grades that feel like a slap in the face for all the effort you put in. It is time to break that cycle for good. Okay, let's get into our first big idea. You see, the hardest part of studying isn't the complex material. Nope, it's just getting started in the first place. That initial inertia is the real enemy. So we're not going to try to fight our brains, we're going to trick them. And here's why starting is so hard. There's this little psychological quirk called Parkinson's law. Basically, if you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna study for the next 3 hours, your brain just sees this huge, awful mountain to climb and immediately starts looking for an escape. It knows it has tons of time, so it fills it with, well, mountain farming fantasies. So, the fix is unbelievably simple. You just change the conversation with yourself. Instead of that giant 3-hour block, just say, you know what? I'll just study for 20 minutes. That's it. It's such a small, easy ask that your brain doesn't even bother putting up a fight. And the crazy thing is, once you start, once that momentum is going, you'll probably just keep on rolling. All right, so now that we've tricked ourselves into actually starting, how do we make sure the information we're studying actually sticks? This is where we make the big shift from being a passive sponge, just hoping things soak in, to being an active driver of our own learning. This quote is everything. Seriously. Real learning isn't about being able to parrot back some complicated definition you memorized. It's about deep, true understanding. It's about knowing the material so well that you could break it down and explain it to anyone. And one of the best ways to do that is with something called the Feynman technique. It's simple. First, pretend you have to explain a concept to a 5-year-old. Use really simple language, no jargon. As you do this, you'll immediately find places where you stumble or where it gets fuzzy. Bam! Those are your knowledge gaps. Now you know exactly what to go back and review. Then you just try again until the explanation is smooth and simple. This slide shows the huge difference between how most people study and how the top performers do it. Passive rereading, that's just information flowing in. It gives you this dangerous illusion that you know things. But active recall, that's where you force your brain to pull the information out. It proves what you actually know, and it burns those memories in so much stronger. So how do you actually do this? It's easy. After you read a chapter, just close the book. Try to summarize the main points out loud. Or when you're taking notes, try to write them from memory first, and then look at the source to see what you missed. And with flashcards, don't just flip them over and go, oh yeah, I knew that. No, force yourself to see the answer before you check. That's the active part. Okay, moving on to our next section. We know how to get started, we know how to make things stick. Now let's make sure we're aiming all that energy at the right target. This is all about working smarter, not harder. You may have heard of this, it's the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. When it comes to exams, it basically means that a huge chunk of your grade, like 80% of it, is going to come from a pretty small slice of the material, only about 20%. Your job, your mission, is to find that critical 20%. Look at this. It's so important. Stop trying to master every single tiny irrelevant detail. The key to being super efficient is to find that small slice of really important stuff and just hammer it home. That's how you get huge results without burning yourself out. So, how do you find this magical 20%? You gotta be a detective. Go look at old exams and see what topics come up over and over again. Ask your professor what the main focus of the test will be. And here is a real A+ student hack. Get a practice test and take it before you study anything. It will instantly show you what's important and where you're weak. All right, here's a trick for instant laser-like focus. You know how you get super productive the night before a huge deadline? That pressure creates focus. Well, we can create that feeling on demand.
Set a timer for 30 minutes and tell yourself, this is all the time I have. Study like your life depends on it. And then, when that timer goes off, you stop and you take a 5-minute break. This part is critical. It has to be a totally guilt-free break. Go on your phone, get a drink, do some jumping jacks, whatever. This little cycle keeps you from getting burned out, and it keeps your brain fresh because it knows a little reward is always just a few minutes away.
So we've covered some awesome techniques, but this last one, this is the one. This is the secret that makes everything else we've talked about 10 times more powerful. It's the biological foundation for learning that almost everyone just completely ignores. So let me ask you a question. When does all this stuff you're learning actually get saved? When does your brain take it from flimsy short-term memory and actually file it away for the long haul? The answer is probably not when you think. That's right. The real magic, the actual process of storing memories, doesn't happen when you have your head in a book. It happens when you are fast asleep. Your brain uses that downtime to sort through everything, build stronger connections, and lock in everything you learned. And this is exactly why pulling an all-nighter is maybe the worst possible thing you can do before a big test. You are literally skipping the most important step in learning. You just tank your memory retention, you destroy your focus for the next day. Getting a full night of sleep isn't a luxury, it's a non-negotiable study tool. And sleep isn't the only free upgrade for your brain. Exercise is also incredibly powerful. And I'm not talking about running a marathon. Even just a short, brisk walk pumps more blood and oxygen to your brain and has been proven to give your memory a serious kickstart. So let's put it all together. This is it. This is your study cheat sheet. Use those 20-minute starts to just get going. Teach concepts like you're talking to a kid to make sure you really get them. Actively test yourself instead of just rereading. Find that crucial 20% of material. Use those 30-minute study sprints with 5-minute breaks. And please, do not forget your 2 free brain upgrades, sleep and exercise. I mean, really think about that for a second. These aren't just tricks to pass the test. This is a toolkit for learning absolutely anything faster and better for the rest of your life. You now have the strategies that top performers use. So the only question left is, what are you going to go master first?